Our agenda today is the same as it has been for 27 years. Financial report, you can read that. Treasurer's report. Bottom line is we have a lot of money and we're spending it. We've recently, and I'm like within the last 2 weeks, upgraded a half a dozen monitors in the club and acquired a new computer.
Oh, I gotta click on it
First. Yeah, as we've said, anyone can be in tech support for the computer club. Okay, I missed that. All right. Anyway, we acquired a bunch of new monitors, and the new computer will show later, or either that or the slide disappeared here. On membership, we've been doing renewals this morning. As of the end of last month, we had the 302 due for renewal this year, and the others listed in future years with a membership of 1531. Renewal period started May 1st and goes to the end of June. It's $15 for 3 years, or if you don't do the math, it's $5 a year, or $10 for 1 year renewal. We have officer elections and nominations coming up like now, and I've got John Sterling here, who's our nominating committee, who has a few words he'd like to share with the group.
Next month is June, and for all the charter clubs, including the computer club, the bylaws require that we must elect 4 officers. Unfortunately, we've been trying for 3 months to get someone to run for club president without success. Without a president, it is likely we will have to suspend all club activities to be in compliance with our bylaws. As president, you do not need to know how to repair computers. We have technicians to do that. The skills needed are that you need to know how to organize, and you need how to, excuse me, you need to know how to be a meeting moderator, like what Dave is doing here. You will have to attend 2 community meetings a month, the Charter Club President's Club, and what's the other one?
This one.
Oh, okay. And
Our board meeting. Our board.
yeah, our board meeting. There's just not a lot of meetings to attend. It's pretty minimal. We also need to add volunteers to our technical staff. We need people with basic computer skills and smartphone skills. 10 years ago, the only computers we got were desktop computers. Now we get desktop computers, laptops, tablets, phones, 2 or 3 kinds of phones, tablets. There's just a wide range of equipment, and we're training technicians in order to be able to answer questions and repair those. We start by having you work with one of our experienced technicians. We especially need people in their 60s, as many of our technicians are 15 to 20 years older than that. We need to start replacing some of them with some younger people, and we're really having a hard time attracting people in their 60s to come in and be trained to be technicians. And also, you don't need to commit to a specific day or time. You can set your own schedule. You may want to come in only on Monday, only on Thursday, only half a day. Whatever you can afford to give us, we're happy to have that. We used to be open one night a week, and several of you have been asking us to do that again. The problem is we don't have enough technicians to staff that. We were open from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And the problem with that for many of the technicians is you've got to eat dinner before 5 o'clock or after 8 o'clock, and that's not a real popular thing to do. We used to have 2 technicians that really liked to do that, and they'd come in at about 4:45, open the lab, and be ready to serve different members. Those 2 members are not available anymore, so we need to replace them and a few other technicians. So anybody that would like to do that, come and see me, and I'll talk to you about how we can reopen evenings. Remember, tomorrow is an open house in the lab from 9 to noon. We'll have technicians to demonstrate the equipment. We can digitize photos, slides, movies, VHS, cassette tapes, records, just about anything we can digitize. So if you come in, we'll have technicians available at the different machines. Come in and feel free to ask them questions about how to use the equipment.
Volunteer. See,
Yeah.
so, condo president.
Yeah. When this meeting is over, would anybody who would like to volunteer come up and see us about that?
Thank you, John. One point of real critical point is that we do need the younger generation. Now, younger being relative. But seriously, for the club to continue and to continue supporting the 1,530 plus members, we're going to need people who can walk and chew gum at the same time. But it's not difficult, and we can help you learn how to do that. That's it, a giggle. Here it is. We have a couple of new computers. This is an example of it, roughly 5 inches by 2 inches in diameter, but it's more powerful than the desktop computers we have in the lab now. And this is going to be the future generation of computers in the lab. We don't need these big 27-pound, 27-ton desktop computers that are capable somewhat of Windows 11. These little guys that we have will not only do 11 nicely, but 12 when it comes out. So this is the direction. And you notice the cost, $250? That's a whole lot better than even your least expensive laptop. But this is the direction we're going with our equipment purchases. Now our schedule hasn't changed. June 8th in here, we're having someone from the village come in and talk about how the village uses computers. Now that could be anything from their website to processing traffic tickets to your water bill and so forth. And then in July, our feature presentation is going to be what is artificial intelligence? It doesn't live here, and how to use it. Apple User Group continues to meet on the first Tuesdays. The photography group on the first Wednesdays. Lab is open Monday and Thursday mornings, 9 to noon, and will be open after this meeting. And as John said, everyone here is cordially invited to come to the lab tomorrow, 9 to noon for open house. If you haven't been there in a while, it would be a good thing to come by, and Teresa's going to talk about all of the things that are available in the lab, and come by and experience it firsthand. As far as classes, we have 4 classes scheduled this month, free for members. For the hands-on classes like the Android phone or the iPhone, remember to bring your username and password. The early classes, we've got 2 Androids, 1 iPhone, tips and tricks for advanced iPhone user, and an intro to Google Docs, which is a very powerful, free software package. Community Matters, town hall meeting here on the premises on May 22nd. There are going to be 2 state representatives here to talk about all the good things they're doing for us. You can laugh, that's okay. Sun City Board meeting on the 24th. The outdoor pool's open on the 26th. Memorial Day, Monday the 29th. Community Days, which are village entertainment and festivities, the first week of June. And the Sun City Strutters here live dancing for you, and no poles involved, June 6th and 7th. Okay, for those in the back that can't read it, left to right, you have a waffle cone, a cake cone, a kitty cone, and a pine cone. And we have Teresa Palicki here to talk about what you can do in the computer lab as a preview for tomorrow's open house. Before you come up. After Teresa, we have several people from the board and our iPhone and our Android instructor to talk about favorite apps. John Sterling, Frank Geister, Shelley Goldberg, Ken Chewinski, and Steve Klein will be up here after Teresa, and I'll come back and fill in with 2 special iPhone apps.
While I'm waiting, good morning. Let's see. Okay, what you don't know, what you didn't know you can do in the computer lab. And this is aside from technical computer support. I'm going to work with, this is what I do there. Oh, see? Media in the computer lab. We can do a million things. It's unbelievable what you can do in your lab. I'm going to show you some pictures, and this has to do with media, things that we have. Think about them, look at them, think, do you have them, and so forth. We'll go through them. We'll have photos somewhere, maybe in our purses, pockets, laying around in envelopes all over the house. How about these kind of albums? You ever open them up lately? They're all torn up and fall apart and nothing's sticking together. And it's just not even nice to look at. Slides, we all have slides, I'm sure, in boxes or put away somewhere. How about this? Remember we used to have cameras? Whatever a camera is today, I have no idea. You can take a camera, take the roll of film out, take it to Walgreens, they process it, you get it back in an envelope with the pictures and then some negatives to hold on to. If you want to make more copies, you cut them out, take them in. Oh, this, 8mm films and movies. Do we all have our weddings on that or some type of things like that? I mean, that really works. And this, we all have the VHS tapes. But what do you do with them? Where are you going to play them? They don't work and they fade out. There's more. There's a lot more yet. Records, LPs. Do we have LPs sitting somewhere in the house? Why are we saving them? What are you going to do with them? 45s. I had those in high school. I mean, would you believe I still have some hanging around? I can't play them with anything, but they're still hanging around. Tapes. We have all these little cassette tapes. They're still hanging around too. I'm sure they are. Well, let's go a little further. I asked the question here, do any of them look familiar? Do they? I mean, have you seen them? Do you have them? Here's the next big question. Or are they? Do you know where they are? I can tell you one thing, your kids don't have them because they don't want them. They don't want any of that stuff. They will someday when they're our age, they'll be looking for them, because I'm looking for them now. I didn't look for them when I was 40 and 50 years old, but I'm looking for them now. Another question. Well, okay, what was the last time you looked at them? If you did find them, I don't know if they're in your garage, in your basement, stuffed in boxes, put away. When was the last time you looked at them? If you took them out now, you're not going to be able to look at all of them. How would you see an 8mm film? What? Okay, so you think you have a projector. Go find a projector. Does it work? Do you know how to work it? It's not good, so the movies aren't going to sit there. What do you plan on doing with them? Here's the important thing. Either you want to do something or you don't want to do. If you don't care and you know you have all these little movies and films and media, then just put it aside and don't worry about it and keep drinking your coffee and relax while I finish up this. But if you care about it, we're going to show you how you can do something with it. There's many, many ways in today's age that you can transfer that to something where your entire family can sit together and look at it. And believe me, maybe some of you do know, I have done this. I have transferred them over and watched them. And everybody says, oh no, I don't want to see that, I don't want to see that. But when they sit down and start watching it, it's unbelievable the conversations that you have. Look at that, I remember that, I saw that. So what do we have to do with all these things when we find them? Come to your computer lab. Now, I like to organize a lot of things, and we could talk about what you have and what you want to do, and we can set up a plan, and we can start to work on it. Oh, there, that's first. Digitize. This is what we have to do to all our media. We have to digitize them. We can't use them the way they are now. We don't have the apparatus to show them on. You can't view them. If you do find some way, it's very slow, and it doesn't look well. So we need to digitize. And digitizing is simply transferring all your media into a format the computer can read. And that's all you have to do is transfer it to a format a computer can read. And you do that by, oh wait a minute, what was that? Coming into your computer lab. Come into your lab, you can either come in from there, talk about what you're going to do, or bring some slides or pictures, something, and we'll show you what to do with them. You do need to bring a flash drive because you want to put them onto something. So bring it in, we could talk about it, we could try it, we could show you, we could organize it, things like that. And why we digitize, first of all, is to preserve your media. I mean, you can take out pictures that are very old, they could crack, they could scratch, they could discolor, same thing with slides and movies and everything. They're not going to be lasting 100 years. The next thing is organization. So if you have all these sitting around, what are you going to do? There are ways to organize them. I digitized literally thousands of slides I had, and I put them into folders according to year. When I was born, 1960, no. But I have them from when I was born, when I met my husband, when we had kids, every year I have it. And if somebody says, oh, I remember when he was only 3 years old, I took him to the park. Oh, wait a minute, I got that picture, I'll get it for you. You go to that year, you pick it. It's simple, but once you organize, you're okay. And the next thing is the great enjoyment you can get out of it. When you put a CD, a DVD together with your films and show them, I cannot tell you what the response is from kids. Maybe some of you have done that already, but they just look at it and say, oh my God, look at that, look at that. And like I said, I remember that, so forth and so on. So those are the things that are good about it. When you come into the lab, these are some of the things that we can do. You can transfer your VHS tapes and movies to DVDs, okay? But you need a DVD player in order to play them, but we can go further than that. You gotta get them off the VHS tape first. slides and negatives. We have a way to digitize those, and you can take them home, put them on a flash drive, put them on your computer, and then we'll organize them there. And then, let's see, oh, you can copy all your pictures, any size to your computer. If you have an albums, just real quick, I could tell you what I did. I had, and probably many of us have this, a huge wedding album like this, big and heavy, and you know, just a couple pictures on each one. And it was in a box. I found it when I was cleaning out, and nobody even looked at it. I took it all apart and I digitized it and made it really nice. I put it into an 8x8 book, hardcover book, and I put it on the shelf I have in my living room. I cannot tell you how many people have seen it. And even my kids say, you know, oh my God, look at this, oh look at this. So, you know, you can get some use out of all that thing, and we can do that. We transfer the LPs, cassettes, everything you have, we could make it accessible today. So, that's what I have to say. I wish you could come into the lab. I started here, I'm here almost 20 years. I started with the lab right away, and Ken Zerinsky was one of the first people I met. And I cannot tell you what I've learned from that lab, and I love it. You have to like to do this. If not, you're not gonna do a good job. Okay, if you wanna do it, and like I said, your kids don't want these pictures, so I'm making copies of everything for them. I'm putting it on a disc, and I'm gonna give it to them. That's it. They don't want to look individually. Because they could have it if they do want it someday. Today they don't want it, but they will later. Take a look at this. I'll read it. It's hard to. Instead of getting that old feeling of I'll get around to it someday, find those items now and do something with them. You'll feel a sense of pride for achieving something that has priceless value to you and your family for generations to come. And that's true. There'll be generations to come. Right now, everything is just sitting in boxes somewhere. But today we have a way of digitizing it and condensing it and letting everybody enjoy it. Okay? Any questions? Yes?
I'm interested in this. How can I find
Oh.
you? How can I find you, or are you at the lab on certain days, or how does it
I'm
work?
there every Thursday
Uh-huh.
from 9 to 12. Sometimes I'm there on Monday, but I'm there every Thursday.
Thank you.
Well, but there are other people that can help with.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, there are other people, you're right. There are people there on Monday and there are people there on Thursday that could help out. Oh yes, I'm not the only one. Absolutely. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Teresa, were you able to shred your pictures once you digitized them?
Yes,
That's the hardest part, I think.
yes.
You really shredded your old pictures?
Yes, and my slides. And there are people who sit there and will do slides and they'll do pictures and they'll say, oh, I'm glad I'm all done. And I kind of just grab them by the hand and say, now what are you going to do with those pictures? Well, I don't know, I'm just going to take them back. No. They're not going to be around long enough. But no, you have to move on.
Can you digitize Sony format tapes?
What kind of format?
Can you digitize the Sony format tapes?
We
don't do
Beta.
Oh, we do 8 millimeter.
Not VHS, it's a smaller format.
No, we don't have, we do.
You can?
I have not recognized it. Someone who works in the lab has seen it. I have not seen it. A smaller format.
Frank said we could do
Okay, then see Frank.
it. And he has to do it if someone comes in.
Yes, see Frank.
Frank does a great job. I really appreciate it. He's helped me many times. Just wanted to comment that some of us forget about bringing an SD card or an SD to the thumb drive to copy these off. The computer club has in the past sold us, I assume we still can buy the CDs, DVDs, and the thumb drive there.
Absolutely. The computer club has the thumb drives for sale. The DVDs we have there. See, you can do so much more things too. There's a lot going on there, but get those photos and things out and digitize them.
That's amazing how you can copy the slides and the pictures very quickly too, by comparison.
Yeah. Just one more example. I mean, if you want to do something with your photos, we were sitting talking once, and my son said to me, oh, I don't remember some of the things I did with Dad. I don't know how many we did. And I said to myself, you gotta be kidding. He did everything with his dad. So, went to the computer, looked every year, got all my pictures out, the day he first went fishing, the day he started skating, the day they went to, all that. I did a book. The book was almost 45 pages. My son's 57 years old. He opened the book and he sat there and just about cried. He couldn't believe all the stuff that was. But you know what? The bottom line is you have to want to do it. No one can convince you to do it. You have to want to do it. And it's better than going to this toy store and buying some big toys for Christmas and everything or birthday. Everything stops and they look at the book. So do something.
Start.
Yep. Yeah.
I had something to say. I spent many hours last summer digitalizing my photos, and everyone in the lab was very, very helpful. I do want to add one thing, and that is that you do have to sign up ahead of time. You just walk in because there's a limited number of machines, so just a reminder to sign up ahead of time. There's a sign-in book. Is that still active?
That's absolutely correct, yes. There's a sign-up book for the day that you want to reserve it. And we also have an instruction sheet. We've taken the formats that come with these, the instructions that come with these machines that are 200 and 300 pages long, and we've condensed them to 1 to 2 pages. So it's layman's terms. Once you read it, you've got it.
You know, as far as signing up, it's a great idea, but if you're not going to be there at the time you've registered or reserved, let us know. So if there are other people waiting, you can go ahead and do the work.
Okay.
Other questions?
One thing Teresa forgot to mention is you will need some pictures, and you know when. We all do. Ever go to a funeral? I know we all have. And guess what they want? They want pictures on bulletin boards and this kind of stuff. So if you have some pictures, you might want to save those for your funeral. I know, I got mine saved, and they're all the good ones. Don't save any of the bad ones. Okay, and thank you.
John?
One of the biggest problems that we see is people come in with a big box full of slides. There'll be 5,000 slides in there. None of your kids want 5,000 slides. And they also don't want all the bad ones that are in there. And they don't want the ones you don't know any of the people. So go through your slides before you bring them in. Take out all the ones that you're not going to want and bring in just the best collection. And don't bring in more than 500's a good number, but don't ever go over 1,000.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to seeing
Thanks,
you.
Teresa. And next we have Shelley Goldberg with his favorites.
Okay, I'm going to be talking about 2 movie streaming apps. And one of them, maybe you may have heard of. The other one you probably have not heard of. But let's talk about them. The first one I'm going to talk about is called Kanopy. How many of you know what Hoopla is? A couple of hands. How many are actually using Hoopla? Hoopla is from the library, the Huntley Library. And they have added a new one called Kanopy now. So Kanopy you get through the Huntley Library. All you need is a library card, and it's very similar to Hoopla, but it's just movies and TV shows. And there's a lot of independent films on there. There's new and classic films, There are PBS and BBC programs. There's all sorts of great content on there. You're allowed to borrow 5 a month, and all you need to do is either use a browser or you can download the app to your TV or to your phone or your tablet. And it's all on demand, so you don't have to wait. You want to watch a film, you just go ahead and do it. So in order to get Kanopy, all you have to do is go start with the Huntley Library website. Just go off to the Huntley Library website, look under online resources, and you'll see a link there to Kanopy and to sign up with Kanopy. And all you have to do is click that link, and they'll ask you to enter your library card, and you'll be all set. After you do that, then you can also download the app from either the Google App Store or the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and you can put it onto your TV or onto your smartphone. So looking at Kanopy, you can go off and browse to your heart's content. There are sections on there on what movies are popular on Kanopy, the new movies that they keep adding new ones all the time, and different genres that you may want to pick. So, and at the upper right-hand corner, you probably can't see it, but there's a search box up there. So if you're looking for a specific movie, you can type in the name of the film, and it'll tell you if it has it on there. And this is all free. It's paid for through the Huntley Library, so all you need is a library card. And the other thing is, this is, not only is it free, but there are no commercials on here as well. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is called, I believe this is pronounced Qwd. This is a fairly recent one. It's spelled Q-E-W-D. And what this does, it aggregates all of your streaming apps. So if you have Netflix and Amazon Prime Video and the like, and different streaming apps, this will aggregate them all together. So what you do is you go off and it'll give you a list of all the apps that you're currently using. You can check off which ones are the ones you're using, both free or paid ones, and then you can search and find and watch any particular movie you want. So here's an example of a screen you might see with Qwd. There is a search box up there again, up to the upper right-hand corner. Or you can just browse through and see what's popular, what's trending right now. You can set up a watch list of films. As you're browsing, you say, okay, I want to see this one, this one, this one. And these are, you've already pre-selected which streaming services you have, so there's no problem in going directly to it, and there's no limit. So, and the other great thing about QEWD, besides being able to tell you which streaming services you can find the particular film or TV show on, you can also set up your list, or you can follow the lists of other people as well. So here's an example of how you set up initially. It'll list out, these are just a few of them. There's actually several more screens of this stuff. But you would scroll through there and you check off all the different services that you might have. Now there are other apps that do a similar thing to this. There's one called Just Watch. There's another one called Real Good. There are tons more of these. You can even use the Google search engine to find where to watch a particular movie. But this one is different because this one has live channels on there as well. So there's free live channels, and if you look on this, you'll see some of the ones that are listed. They've got Showtime, Stars, CNN, There are sports channels, Fubo Sports, MLB, NFL. The only one caveat right now is this app is not yet on your TV. So you can do this from a computer, you can do it from a smartphone. But what you can do is, if you can put it on your phone, for example, all you have to do is screencast from your phone to your TV, and now you're watching it on your TV. Or if you have you want to use your computer or a tablet, you can connect an HDMI cable to your TV set and then watch it that way. Okay, this is just an example. If you look up, let's say, a popular movie right now is A Man Called Otto with Tom Hanks, the Tom Hanks film. If you do a search on that particular one, it also brings up the fact that this was based on a Swedish film, originally a few years back. And the Swedish film is called A Man Called Ove, and it shows you where it's available. And lo and behold, it says it's available on Canopy. So all you can do is if you click Canopy, the QEWD app will take you directly into the movie and you can watch it directly from here. And now you're on the Canopy app, click play, and there you go. Okay, next up is John Surley.
Shelley, you're telling us that we don't need Comcast anymore.
No, you don't. Yeah, we want to cut the cord. And in fact, I've done a few cut the cord classes, and if any of you are interested in learning a little bit more about some of these streaming apps and how to cut the cord, I will be doing a repeat class on cutting the cord next month, June 22nd. That's a Thursday at 1 o'clock. And that'll be in the computer lab.
Thank you.
I've got two apps that I use all the time. The first one is in Google Maps. There's a thing called location sharing. And this allows you to track when somebody's moving in a car. Yesterday I was in Lake Geneva. My daughter lives there, and when I left, I had her track me using the Google Apps. The Google Maps location. And what that did is it told, she did the tracking, which is a continuous tracking, and then she took pictures about every 10 minutes. And that looks like this. The first one is when I was still in her neighborhood, 2.5 miles away. The next one, I was 16 miles away from her place, and you can see that I'm close to McHenry in that one. The next one is at Woodstock. I'm about 18 miles away. And then when I'm almost at Sun City, it's 28 miles away. This is particularly nice if you have somebody coming to your house and they're not there and you wonder where they are. If you go into this tracking mode, you then can see when they turn off of I-90 onto 47 and get a really good estimate of when they're going to be there. My wife is in Arizona right now, and each morning she goes to the state park and does a 2-mile loop on in the desert hiking trail. So in the morning, I can click on this, look at her location, and see where she is on her hike. The other one is the barbershop app. I just happen to pick great clips, but any number of different barbershops have these kind of apps. And what they do is when you click on it, it tells you how long the wait time is, and it allows you to go in and put your name in, and it allows you to pick the barber that you're gonna get. And this is what it looks like. When you click in this particular case, it's about a 20-minute wait. So you can do a couple of things. You can either put your name in right there, wait 15 minutes, and then drive to the barber shop, and on their screen, your name will be on there. You've reserved that space. Yeah, this will save you a lot of time going to the barber shop. There's times when you click on and it says there's no waiting time, but there's other times when you click on and it'll be like 55 minutes, and you don't want to drive over there until you get much closer. So there's a good time saver for you.
John, question on the Google Maps app. Do you have to give permission for someone to track you?
Yes, when you're signing on to the tracking, when you pick and you get a list of people that are in your contacts. When you pick the person, you get a screen that comes up that says, do you need to get permission from that person? And as soon as you get permission from that person, you then can track them until they turn it off again.
Good to know.
And it tracks my phone?
Yeah, it tells you where the phone is.
Is it normally the phone that is the instrument that it tracks? Or,
not normally, always.
Yeah.
No question?
Yes, on the tracking, if you had a smartwatch, could it also track via smartwatch?
Do you have
Well,
Google Maps?
the smartwatch is connected to your iPhone, so yes.
Okay.
No, but you have to have the phone with you though.
Depends on the model of the watch, Ken.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Does the watch have Google Maps on it?
Well, my kids have the iWatches, I don't. I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what the answer is on that. Any other questions?
I think Ken is next. That's all I know. Thank you, John.
I don't know what happened to our slideshow.
No, come on. Frank's working on it. Yeah, you can play your slides here. It was there. Was there. That one there.
It's right there. 76, click on it.
Just scroll, look, try your button. Who's got the button? See if that one's moved down. No, that don't work either.
I know, you gotta get to the slideshow.
Yeah.
Click on 76.
Scroll down. So,
Over there.
yeah. I have to remove it, I guess.
No.
You guys do it. You're gonna prove it. It doesn't work.
Scroll down to slide 76. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's not working.
How about if I just jump in, switch over?
that scroll bar down to 76.
There's an update on your scorecard. Our relief pitcher is Steve Klein with
Okay.
Android.
I'm Steve Klein, I'm the Android. Sorry about that, I should know, I'm hard to hear. So I'm Steve Klein, I'm the Android class instructor for the Computer Club. For this part of the presentation, we're switching over from the computer to my phone, and casting directly from my phone to the projector to the screen. Something we've talked about here in the presentation. So with this, it's really neat. So when Shelley was talking about those two apps and using your phone to cast, we can do this pretty easy now. A lot of people don't realize that you have that app on your phone. So this is my home phone. This is my home screen on my phone. So now this is a very old Samsung. It's probably about 8 years old. And as a matter of fact, I bought it used when I got this about 6 years ago. So I'm using a Samsung app when I go to the installed apps on the phone. There's something called Smart View right here. That's what I'm using to cast to the screen. So if I wanted to go to, if I had Qt or Command or those apps, I get that. But my favorite is just to hit YouTube. Does anyone have a favorite song they'd like to hear? You can hit that search key. Play the Beatles song With a Little Help from My Friends. Oops. Play the Beatles song With a Little Help from My Friends. So if you're sitting at home and you want to watch that, we'll pull that up, and then you can watch it.
Talking to Mike.
Sorry. So anything that you can do on your phone, if you're with somebody, you can project to any TV projector that has an HDMI and connect to it, and then show people things that are on your phone. So all those nice pictures and negatives that you've digitized here in our lab. Now you can go into work and you can show people things that you did around the house. You can project it to the TV at work and show that off your phone onto that. I think this is just really amazing. But so anything that you have on your phone, you can do that. I have my documents on the cloud, Microsoft OneDrive. So with my phone, I'm able to access anything. So this is my presentation here at the Computer Club, Sun City. It works a little bit better when I have the glasses on. So go down to this file that I have for this one. And so this is my presentation that I'm kind of doing. Are you guys ready? So just really quickly, I wanted to talk about. Sorry, I got to turn my rotation on so that you can see this a little bit better. So one of the things, if anyone's been to the class, you know I'm a big fan of smartphones. Smartphones are wonderfully amazing devices that too easily can become overly complicated and frustrating. The goal of the Computer Club, and my class as well, is to help make your device super easy to use, maximize its usefulness, your fun, and your security. So cell phones, past, present, and future. So it wasn't long ago where the cell phones were really limited. You only had a little bit of storage. Oh my gosh, you got so frustrated, you take a few pictures and you run out of memory on the old phones. That's gone. The new phones today have more memory and as much speed as you want. They're absolutely amazing devices. And if anyone's thinking about getting a phone, I think this is a pretty good time. There's not a lot more they can add to it that it just isn't amazing as it is, except for the camera. So, you know, the phones we have now are typically 12 megapixel, the new phones. And I don't know if anyone's got a new phone with these super massive cameras that are like 100 megapixels. I'm waiting for somebody to get that just to see what the quality of those pictures are, but that sounds pretty amazing to me. So, you know, so all your pictures are in this. So, present. So the phones that are out there now are just, okay, my time's up. Shoot. The phones are getting really good, but think about this for the future. The way technology is going, these are going to be our devices that we use constantly. It seems to me that what's going to happen here in maybe a year, maybe two, is TV sets, computers, are going to go the way of the fax machine. Everything's going to be on this. Wherever we go, whatever we do, it's going to be a phone doing the entertainment and helping us with our daily tasks and thoughts. So, cell phones of the future. Just wanted to put a plug in also for volunteers to help out at the club. Gosh, it's a wonderful time, and I've learned something in doing this class, that old adage, if you wanted to get really good at something, teach it. Oh my gosh, you get really good at it. And it just comes naturally when you do that. So if anyone would like to volunteer, there's so many things we can do there. Just so much fun, interesting. I really encourage everyone to participate get better with this, because making these things useful in your life is amazing.
Thanks. Any questions on Android or in general? And we have Ken.
Okay, let's try this again. I've done a presentation a couple times to the Computer Club on the LastPass password manager, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about that today, as well as other password managers. You know, David had done a nice presentation on password managers in the past, but I've got a little bit different angle. Now, one problem we experience at the lab is people bring their computer in and sit down with them to work on it, and they say, okay, well, what's your password? And they say, well, I don't have a password, I have a PIN. You have a password too. I'm talking about Windows. So everybody has a password, and you can have a PIN as a quick access in it, but you have a password too. So make sure you always know what your password is and bring that in. A password manager can help you with that. A password manager is a huge time saver. I mean, people come in and you ask them, what's your password? And they bring out this book and they're paging through it, and here's no, that's it, I can cross that one out. No, that was old. And they're trying to find the current password. And it's probably better to start from the back of the book and work forward. But so a password manager eliminates all those problems. When you're using a password manager and you go to a website, let's say something O'Reilly Auto Parts, something I use. You set up an account with them. Everybody wants you to have an account. Like O'Reilly Auto Parts, you set up an account and you can enter all your cars, my motorcycle. So when I go there, I can just choose what vehicle I want parts for and then search for the parts. It makes it a lot easier when you have an account. So when I go to the O'Reilly Auto Parts website, website, my password manager says, oh, I have a password for that, and it just automatically drops it in, and I'm logged in. I don't have to search for it, so I can let the password manager create a long cryptic password that I'll never remember, but it does, and it just drops it in there. And you just click on login, and you're done. It's very quick. There's security around that. Now, there have been instances where I know a lot of people have gotten emails that says, oh yeah, we're your bank and we want to validate your credentials. Just click on this link and we'll take you to our website and you can log in and enter your information or verify your information. Well, they have created another website that looks exactly like your bank's website. So you go there and when you log in, now you've just given them your password because that's not really your bank that you're going to. If you have a password manager and that happens, you click on that link in the email, which you shouldn't do anyway. You should just go to your bank right away and you go to your bank website. But if you click on that link, the website will come up. It'll look like your bank, but it's not going to fill in your password. And you, well, what's wrong? That should be a clue to you right away that this is not the valid website, because your password manager knows that that address up on top of the page there, that's not your bank. So it's going to say, no, I don't have a password for that. So it's a big security help. Now, I just had a, yeah, I was going to use something else. I thought, no, I can't use that. There was something else I was going to say. Anyway, many times people will use your browser as a way of saving your passwords. And that's convenient. Your browser pops up and says, you know, do you want me to save that? You just say yes. The next time you go to that website, it does very much the same thing as a password manager, but they're not as secure. There's malware out there now that will be able to download those files and crack those password files from your browsers, from different. Some of the password managers that are other password managers that are out there. So I don't know, somehow I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so they're not as secure as, not as secure, I don't know, I'm just losing it today. They're not as secure as a regular password manager. Now, I know I was leery in the beginning. I've been using a password manager, and I've talked about LastPass in the past, and that one is not really, it's still a good password manager, but they've been careless. They've been hacked, and someone was able to download their entire database. Now, their database is thoroughly encrypted, so they have said, yeah, it's not a big deal, but now somebody has that entire database in their possession. They've got as much time as they want to bang on that and try and break it open. But that being said, now LastPass I had set up, and you can change the number, but before it left my computer, this is for most cloud storage password managers, it will encrypt your passwords. I think by default it was 1,000 times. I changed it to be more like, I think 300,000 times. It would encrypt it before it sent it over the internet. So if anybody intercepted it along the way, that's thoroughly encrypted. Then when they got it, they encrypted it additional times before they stored it in their database. So what they have in their database is very heavily encrypted, and it shouldn't be a problem, but they were careless. One of their employees, they only had 4 employees that had access to administer that database. One of them, because of COVID probably, was accessing it on his home computer. His home computer had some game software on it that had vulnerabilities in it, and someone was able to take advantage of the vulnerability in the game software on his computer, planted malware on there, got his access codes to the LastPass database, and I was able to get in and download the database. They've had like 3 security breaches that I know of. There's a lot of people that are leaving LastPass. I did. I went to another password manager. It may still be a good password manager. Their carelessness is causing a lot of people to leave LastPass. So the question is, will LastPass be around much longer? Because if they get enough people leaving, they're not going to be able to stay in business. So I don't want to be there when LastPass shuts down their servers and all of a sudden my password manager doesn't work. So I've moved on to something else. Here are some password managers. They're cloud password managers, and there's a couple ones that you can put on your computer that are what they local password managers, but there's disadvantages to that. LastPass is in there, but there's many. I've gone with Bitwarden is an open source password manager. People think, oh, open source, and anybody can see what they do. Yes, but if done right, and they security experts on the internet have said yes, they've done it right. They can know how you do it, but if you do it right, then they can't reverse it. I helped a lady in the lab convert from LastPass to RoboForm, which was her choice, and that looked like a nice password manager. So it's easy if you're using LastPass or any password manager. They always have a way to export on your passwords. Now I just looked the other day and I just deleted my LastPass. I've been using Bitwarden for a few months now. I said, okay, I'm good with it. I'll delete all that. I have 871 passwords. So it's not something that I'm going to be able to remember. Well, unless you use the same password for everything, which you should never do. Because if somebody gets your password for this site, then they'll try that same password for your bank or for something, your Amazon account, and if you use the same password everywhere, they get your password for AutoZone or whatever, and now they get your password for your bank. They can go into your bank and they can do transactions just like you. So never use the same password everywhere. Okay, so I didn't make any real choices, the local password managers, KeePass and KeePass XC. That's just software you can install on your computer, and it's a little database that can keep your passwords on that computer. Now, I think there may be, with XC, I think there may be a way of syncing that so you can use it on multiple computers, but usually, like KeePass, I know I used that years ago. It's something, it'll replace your book. Your book is only in one place, and well, your book you can easily carry to another computer or your phone. On your local computer though, unless you put it on a flash drive, and you can install it on a flash drive, you can carry that flash drive around and plug it in. Flash drive doesn't easily convert to your phone though. So I'm not big on the local password managers. I still believe in the cloud password managers. I started out, and if you're interested in it, just try AutoZone or some other website that isn't going to hurt you. They don't have your credit card information. They don't have any financial information. So just try it. Just use one website until you're comfortable with it, and then start to gradually put your other passwords in there. And when you install a password manager, I'm going too long, I think. you install it and it'll ask you every time you visit a website. You put the password in one time and it will ask you, do you want me to save that? And if you say yes, it'll save it. And then so next time you go to that website, it'll just put it in for you. You can put in your name and address, phone number, everything. And you have to get to a web page and once that you just click on it and it'll fill all that in for you. And this is some of what I had already said. I have a link here. It's a website, Tom's Guide. They have a how to delete your LastPass account. It also includes information about exporting your current account, LastPass account. And again, I don't know how many people, if any, have come in the lab and they were using LastPass. But I've been using it since 2010 and it's been great. I hate to leave them, but I think it was time. Does anybody have any questions? Anything about password managers?
What was the name of the one you're using? I couldn't hear it over there.
Okay, now this is, it's not a recommendation, although I got the recommendation from some security podcast experts. They've been in this business for a long time doing security stuff, and unfortunately they originally recommended LastPass, but LastPass again is still a good password manager, but it's just the people were careless. So what they had recommended recently is Bitwarden. Now there's a Bitdefender. I don't know much about that, but Bitwarden has a free version of it, and then I'm paying them $10 a month, which gives them a little bit of money, and then you get support for $10 a month. So which I haven't needed. So any other questions? Well, I guess nobody's. We need younger people to run around with the microphones.
One of the ones you had up there was RoboForm.
Yes.
They put them on. I use RoboForm, and yes, you're supposed to pay for it. I don't. There's a way of getting around the paying it, because it downloads onto your computer, and then it stores it in a place. But you have to have one main password to open it up.
That's true of all of them.
So
you have to have one good, secure, long master password that you can remember.
One that you can remember will open all of them up, and then once you do, you can basically go to any site and you open up yours and say, now I can look at what's on my computer. Now I don't have to pay RoboForm to store it for me because it's stored on my computer.
Okay, yeah, RoboForm was nice, but most of them, Norton has a good one. They're all pretty good. Like I say, even LastPass is good, but they have some careless people, and probably not anymore. Anybody else? Okay.
Thank you, Ken. And next we have Frank and video editing.
I thought that was last.
How many here have microphone? How many here have at home a whole bunch of video clips, and they're all stored in the computer? Raise your hand if you got you got your camera. Okay, you guys are all here. Good. This program, Bandicut, is a program that will put all those segments together quickly and easily for you. So what the deal is, it's a free program, sort of. They have a paid version. It doesn't really make much difference to the majority of you folks. The free one is pretty good. There's no limit. It puts a little clip at the end. It says it was produced with Bandicut. So it runs about 3 seconds at the end of presentation, not at every film in between. So that works out pretty good. So this is a program that if you are interested, you can come into the computer lab and I'll try to show it to you and give you a little few. It doesn't take much. So let's see if it, you know, the old folk programs were really big and they had a lot of stuff. This is a simple program and it will merge film or cut film or make a long presentation. You can put 60, 70 little clips or big clips together, and it can do a tape like a CD, like a movie CD that you copy. That's usually 3 files. If you take those files and put them on your computer with a little work, that will put those files all together and you'll get the full film complete. It makes it easier than doing it. And it doesn't record, it doesn't render, every picture that you, or clip you bring up on your computer isn't rendered to the computer. It works very well. So what we're saying is you can come into the lab and see it. Let's see if this thing will do its, hang on, I don't know. Yeah, there it is. Now how do we press the button? Press the button.
It's so easy to take and share videos these days. Is there any easy way to edit them? Try Bandicut, a fast and easy video editing program. When you want to cut a certain section of the video and save it separately. When you want to cut out unnecessary parts of the video. When you split one video into several, or combine multiple videos into one. Bandicut can edit while keeping the quality of the original, and it can do this very quickly. Bandicut can be used not only to edit various kinds of videos, but also to convert them. It also has an audio extraction function and voice canceling function, so it can be used in various ways. You can also upload the... It's so easy to take and share videos these days. Is there any easy way to edit them? Try Bandicut, a fast and easy video editing program. When you want to cut a certain section of the video and save it separately. When you want to cut out unnecessary parts of the video. When you split one video into several, or combine multiple videos into one. Bandicut can edit while keeping the quality of the original, and it can do this very quickly. Bandicut can be used not only to edit various kinds of videos, but also to convert them. It also has an audio extraction function and voice canceling function, so it can be used in various ways.
Okay, that gives you an idea of what it is. It's a little clipper. It will do all your normal things you need to do. And if you put a whole group of segments together, and one of them has to be edited, you can do it after you got them all together with the same program. You can cut out a little piece. It will produce a new file, and the new file will work well. So this is a good program. Come into the lab, we'll talk about it, and show you how you can make those films that you have usable. Okay, that's it. Any questions?
What are you gonna do? One more. HDMI. How many iPhone users are here? Pay attention. We have a special. Today only. iPhone. How many of you enjoy getting phone calls about your student loan? Your extended car warranty? All right, you want to stop them, right? Turn on your phone and go into settings, the gearbox on the left, click on settings, and you get a panel in the middle, and you click on the phone icon, and the panel on the right comes up. Down near the bottom, I've got a box around silence unknown callers. That's the secret. What that does is, if you get a call on your phone from any number that's not in your contact list, your phone will not ring. The caller goes direct to your voicemail. And you'll have then a listing on your phone app of all the calls that came in that are not in your contact list. If they've left a voicemail, you can play it back and return the call if it's something you want to do. Otherwise, that's the last call you get from your cousin in India. Questions? Great, thank you for coming. We'll see you next month.